What's going on, boys? Snowguards here. Welcome back to another video. Been some time, been away, got some color, but getting on to tactics. 4-2-3-1. Now, this variation I wanted to give you is a defensive variation. This is what you're going to see more at the start of EAFC. It's more of the pro variation of like the 4-2-3-1. So it's a more of a defensive. Now remember, in FIFA, being ultra defensive doesn't mean that attacking everyone's on stay back. Especially with formations like the 4-2-3-1, you have options like come back and defense. Now, although this means that when you're defending, they're going to come back and defend, it doesn't make them stay back while attacking. So this is why the 4-2-3-1 is always very much used when the game comes out, and always is throughout the entirety of the year. Now, the defense style for normally a defensive formation balanced, you never want to go to a drop back. Now, the good thing with the 4-2-3-1 defensive is you can basically start this and play this the entire game. If you have the skill level, you can just use this formation the entire game. Maybe now with the way the meta is, of course, there's other formations that are maybe more better, 5-4-1, stuff like that. But generally speaking, especially if you're like a mid-tier player, let's say you're like a rank 4-3 player, or just above that, should I say? So like you're rank 4, rank 5, or just above that, rank 3. It's a really good formation to get your fundamentals on check. So no drop back. The reason why you don't use drop back is because the game basically, the AI just stay there stagnant, they don't act, and that is why you're better off using balanced. And then the way you kind of complement balanced is you basically put the depth lower, so you're basically reenacting drop back by reducing the depth. But I'll be honest, around about I would say 37 to 40 is a really good balance. I think from what I've been playing this entire year, it's a very good balance. Now, this would be the formation to start the game with. You'll see a lot of pros, they just have this. This is the only thing that they have in the entirety of the game. It's because they're pro players. And people always think, do pros show different tactics? No, they don't. It's generally just because they have just basic gameplay. They don't need that much. But the truth is, even someone for like myself, when I'm not tryharding, I still use long ball. Long ball in a 4-2-3-1 is the most important thing. Pros are now using it even more now. But for them, it's a bit different because they control the players manually. The truth is, come back in defense, there's no getting behind. If you have, for example, a striker, let's say, or like a 3-5-2, you have getting behind. You have this option over here, just over here, getting behind. You don't have that, for example, in the 4-2-3-1 because the camps, there's no option. Because people always ask me that, why is there no getting behind? It's just the way it is. So what long ball is basically doing is, it just means getting behind. In simple terms, that's all it means. So you're saying to your players, when you get the ball going forward, you're going to run forward, almost like a counter-attack. When you win the ball back, players are making runs going forward. If you don't do this, this formation becomes ultra defensive if you don't use L1 triggers and play a lock. So if you don't use that, which is probably going to be 99% of you guys, and when I mean L1 triggers, I mean you're using it literally every single second when you're attacking. That's not once one player, I mean like you're constantly using it. The chance creation, you can stick with direct passing, it's completely fine. If you've seen my video on my 4-2-3-1s, I personally prefer forward runs. I still think old gen, new gen it's better in my opinion. Direct passing has a very unique way of playing. If you're playing like the cutbacks and deliberately how the meta is, then maybe direct passing is more for you. But in my opinion, forward runs does that and more. It's overall the better option. If you are talking about just trying to play the defensive slot, balance is a very, very good slot because the game kind of knows what to do in those situations. I would only play possession if you're strongly good at using L1 triggers, because when you have possession and you're in the final third, for example, like here, the players that you're attacking, they're going to come towards you. That then going to allow your opponent to press you as well. You're actually going to create less space. Remember, the best way to create opportunities is to go away from yourself, not to come close. So I would recommend here either just going balanced if you want to play ultra defensive. Unless you have the ability to use L1 triggers, I'd recommend possession. Even I only use this realistically when I'm super tryharding, and even though I don't even use that anymore. And then otherwise, I'd recommend direct passing. I personally still use forward runs, but I'm leaving it on direct passing. Now for the width, the attacking width. Now the thing is, in a 4-2-3-1, the biggest misconception is these players here, they're wingers. They're not attackers. Or left attacking mids, right attack. Some players prefer to play like KDB here. Okay, maybe with like teamless in KDB, maybe you can get away with it, right? At this stage of the game. But these guys are wingers. Whenever you see the Lamb and a Ram, they're actually wingers. It's the biggest mistake I ever see. You know, every single person that I see that starts FIFA, they always get that wrong. Players in the box, I leave on 7 or 8. 8's a bit too extreme when they're attacking in, but I think 7 is a good chance. Now, striker, stay central, come back in offense, get in behind. This player's on come back in offense. This is why this formation is so good, because compactly you defend in a 4-5-1. There's no formation where you can defend in a 4-5-1 and basically attack basically in... I like to think of it like a 4-3-3 or like an advanced cam. But come back and stay central, get in behind, come back on defense. All the lamb and the rams, all three of them on comeback and defense. Now, this cam over here, what you can do is, it sounds contradictory, but if you put this player on stay forward, you're going to be better for counter attacks. But the reason why this cam is so important is if your opponent has the ball, let's say your block is over here and your defensive team's over here. Let's say your team's over here. If your opponent has the ball over there, that cam sits in that role and protects the defensive midfielders. So if you know you struggle defensively, I'd recommend putting this player on comeback and defense. But putting him on stay forward makes that centre forward striker. Remember that in my 4-2-3-1, the system that I like, because the way I play my 4-2-3-1 is actually a 4-4-1-1, because you have both of these players on stay forward. But if you want to, you can put this player on stay forward. It wouldn't really go... Don't expect him to stay right in front beyond the striker. It won't be there. It will just be basically just behind in that region. It depends sometimes when they transfer over, when you come back in defence, but he'll be fine. Just put them on, in my opinion, leave it on, come back in defence. And if you really want that counter-attack threat, you can put him on stay forward. Both CDMs, cut passing lane, step out attacking, cover centre. Again, the key thing is, and make sure no deep line playmaker. The key thing here is L1 triggers. This is how you make the... This one, people see pros tactics, they always wonder why it's so balanced. Why is it so defensive? It's because attacking, they let the players go themselves. These L1 trigger. They may put a centre mid on balance, but that's better. If you really want to, you put one of the centre mids on balance. But again, this is a defensive variation layout, so I'm not going to go over that one. We're going to put them both on cut passing lanes, step out and cover centre. Left back and right back, both of them on stay back and overlap. And my thing I like to do is conservative. Even at this stage, it's not really about stamina. It's just about sometimes your left back and right back, when there's a chance to win the ball, they sometimes commit. And I don't want them ever going forward, because the truth is down the wing is where you get destroyed. Now, if you have a fullback here, that's your fullback and that's your opponent's player. And let's say that he's trying to make that pass and he steps forward, your opponent can get in behind. I just don't like that. I don't want to take that risk. So I'd rather put them on conservative. And the goalkeeper, I leave on balanced. I don't really touch this, to be honest. Sweeper keeper, I think maybe is better to control it manually. But that is the 4-2-3-1 custom tactics and instructions. As I said, look, this is more of a defensive variation. This is what you would see if you go to any video from FIFA 18, no, maybe not 18. Actually, no, sorry. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 FIFA. Go to any pros tactics, you're probably going to see some sort of 4-3-1 very similar to this. It's a very good formation to control the game, to control the midfield. You have two CDMs, unlike the 5-4-1 where you have no CDMs. Don't forget, formations like the 5-4-1, the weaknesses are that this is why the average player struggles with it, because there's no CDMs. You have centre mids, they sit high. Yes, you have a back five defensively, but then you can argue a 3-5-2 is better because you have those two CDMs, they sit a bit deeper and they do help you. But anyway, guys, that is, of course, the 4-2-3-1, the balanced defensive formation. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, if you want to get better at FIFA, you can come to the FIFA School Series, patreon.com/NoGuides. Links down below in the description, or it should be like kind of here, something on the screen. Or should I say EAFC School? But we're making some videos now, preparing for next year. And EAFC videos in advance. And real life examples as well. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Oh, next week. No, actually, very, very soon. Got one big video coming up. Peace out.